Hi, Intrepid viewers. So good to see you again. I'm back and I have a couple of announcements. Until now, I've been casually teaching academic work, one course a semester, just to keep the wolf from the door. And I've decided to finally surrender that and do this full time, mainly because I love doing readings for people. I love doing the videos, but my special love is one-on-one readings. I adore you guys and I feel so privileged to be able to do that. So if you wish to get a general reading or a past life reading, please email me. The email's on every video. The other announcement is the t-shirts, the Intrepid Viewer t-shirts. Dave from Moonride and I have gone together to this company called Zazzle, and it started off okay in the sense that the t-shirts were $26.99, I think. That's with only $1 markup for us that we're going to donate. But that's how much a t-shirt costs to be made in America, unlike if they were made in China. So we were keen to do that. The problem is Dave went in to have a look as an outside person to buy a t-shirt, and he was told they were $59 or something stupid, but you can get 40% off, all this crap. So I hope it isn't too complicated. They do not cost that much. And we are doing our best to either sort that out with Zazzle or source another company. So as it stands, I don't actually have one, but I noticed quite a few of you have sent me pictures and they look great. So I'm glad you're enjoying those. Okay, let's leap in. I want to look at Ivanka and Jared. I don't know if anyone else caught it. Apparently, Trump went to some economic conference or something in New York and told the audience that Ivanka, I'm sorry, I'm laughing already, Ivanka has created 14 million jobs. Ivanka has. We had no idea. She was only setting out to create 500,000 jobs, but she's so amazing. She has got 14 million people jobs. Have you ever heard of anything so stupid? That's half the population of Australia. It's 3 times the population of New Zealand, and she has got them all jobs. What can you say? Why don't people just walk out of these delirious, you know, sprays that he does? You couldn't even call it a speech. Apparently, I also heard that the Erdogan visit with Trump, how it was reported in Turkey, was that he just slammed Trump. He just nailed, basically, the imbecile. So that's interesting. He goes and gets into bed with these dictators and they just think he's a bad lay. So sorry about the crude analogy, but really. So first I want to look at Pompeo. Everything in these public testimonies is talking about and funneling our attention to how out of control the State Department is. That's Pompeo's thing. So let's have a look, using the Russian cards, what is in store for Mike Pompeo. Mike Pompeo. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. Well, God, I love these cards. They're so perfect for these people. Oh, we'll do another one. Now, you know what? I think this would be how Pompeo's feeling now. He's being frisked down in the form of these public testimonies, right? Staring wide-eyed, going, I am out of my depth here. That's the feeling I get for him overall, out of my depth. He surrounded himself with incompetent idiots, and now he is going to be made to pay the piper. Look, the surrounding cards, you'd have to say, are not good for Pompeo. So what's behind this? The death card. Well, that would be the death of ordinary processes, the death of diplomacy being done as a professional endeavour. And it was killed on his watch. He has no excuses in this. He can't possibly say he didn't know. He is, have a look at this card, viewers. Now, this is the Four of Swords, normally the card of retreat. In this deck, it's the card of absolute exhaustion. And this person is not having a fun time. See the skeleton overlooking the person. This is not a recuperative rest. This is the lull before the storm. This guy is looking at serious gulag stuff. I'm not saying Pompeo is going to go to jail, but it's going to be the end of his tenure after this, if nothing else, surely, you would think. The Nine of Wands, the chess game continues, right? And Pompeo would have to be feeling that he was a pawn in Trump's game. Now, short-term outcome, I love this blousy Empress, right? This is in the context of a reading for Pompeo and the State Department. This is the lush element. They were just running amok. And what about Sunderland having the phone call at the restaurant? People could hear everything that was going on in Kiev, that the whole city would already be bugged by the Russians. And it's like there's a decadence to this particular Empress that there isn't in traditional tarot decks. So to me, it represents that they all thought they were having the good life. Sondland bought his ambassadorship for $1 million, and it shows they were out of control. So, the other good news, of course, is Roger Stone was found guilty, 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 guilty. Let's have a quick look. Will Roger Stone get a pardon? Does anyone know, can presidents pardon any time? They can, I think. But will Trump pardon Stone? His pattern is out of sight, out of mind. As soon as you're no use to him, that's you. You're the dead budgie in the cage, you know. So, will Trump pardon Stone? You'd have to think he'd want to, but who knows? Will Trump pardon Stone? Will Trump pardon Stone? Nine of Pentacles, this would be Stone when he goes to, the Hierophant thing. I actually don't think so, viewers. I really don't think so. This is Stone. Now he's no longer in a position to keep his toupee on, sort of thing. This is Stone run out of money. This is Stone waiting and hoping that he will be given a pardon. This to me is visiting the hubby in jail card. Right, so he's still in jail. The Hierophant, meaning the system, law and order of the government, I think he'll be left high and dry by Trump and the Ace of Swords. I think there's going to be some legal complications where Trump can't, he mightn't care enough to even think about him, or he might be talking up large going, you know, yeah, it's okay, Roger, you know, yeah, of course I'll do that. And I thought he was going to, but it's not looking good for Roger. So it'll probably take a few months for him to be sentenced, and that could be the difference. Because Trump early next year, I think the rubber's going to hit the road in January, February. So unless he's sentenced very quickly and Trump pardons him, it's going to look bad for all of them, because we'll see. Now, get back to computer. Who was the next person I wanted to read it? Oh, Jared and Ivanka. I'll move to my new ride awaits. Now, while I'm shuffling, again, so much gets lost every day because there's so much going on. The Agricultural Secretary, the guy in charge of farmers, who would never have put on a muddy boot in his entire life, probably thinks potatoes grow in supermarkets, has said farmers really should just get another job as well as farming. I'm a farmer's daughter, 365 days a year. Dad would take Christmas afternoon off. And he's saying they should get a second job. It's so insulting. If a single farmer in America votes for him, I'll be appalled and amazed. So, the other thing I love that's going on. Now, Fox News is, covering the testimonies, and I'm sure most of it is Fox rubbish. But to their credit, both Brett Baier and Chris Wallace have given it real coverage, saying this isn't good, we had no idea how widespread this destructive stuff is, and so forth. And I looked on their comments, the ones who stood up, and they get vilified by the viewers. So I suspect they're trying to hold the line, giving the channel some semblance of journalism. But I think they might be sacked and retired. I should look at them sometime. In the meantime, this is Ivanka, spokesperson for working mothers, and Jared, spokesperson for slumlording. So what's happening with Jared and Ivanka? We'll do them separately, I think. Jared first. Jared. What's happening for Jared? Yes, devious movements behind the scenes with money that are speeding up. Celebrating. Swords. All right. This is what's happening, isn't it, viewers? Sorry, before I launch into it, we've been bonded for nearly 2 years now, and these things seem to take forever. But now things are accelerating, right? So on top, he gets the group work, the dark money. This is everything he does, and he was in a position that they have the hide to talk about Hunter Biden. He's been running all over the world, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, everywhere, trying to source money to save his big albatross purchases, right? And I think it is going to be exposed before we all get much older. Now, here he is as the young princeling riding into town in his recent past. That was him being able to score all this money, because you do have oligarchs everywhere who are happy to mix and mingle with other oligarchs. So that was okay. Then things accelerated with the chariot, compressing things now as it goes into the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So here he has the women celebrating, because he still hasn't quite realised, okay, he's got the devious money, things are rocketing forward, and he's just about to score a lot of this money. He's got more in the pipeline, and he's celebrating the rip-off. Right, I love this, that sort of Cossack card. So just as he was celebrating making a dint in his debts, because that's all that's going to happen is a mere dint, and the rip-off card, I'll just do a little clarifier here, coming forward for Jared. Oh, I see. I'm just hearing. Okay, all right. He thinks even if his father-in-law gets impeached and goes, he'll be sweet. Right? This is what he and Ivanka are thinking. It's a race against the clock, right? We can score, we can get another 300 million from the Emirates, we can get another 200 million from somebody else, we can get another 100 million here. It'll be all right, we'll get away with it. This is getting away with the rip-off. So let's do a clarifier or two here, because I like to finish on a bigger card, a more distinct card than a minor arcana. So let's have a look. Oh, and for those of you who want to learn tarot, I've now got a vacancy. I can take on 2 new people. So if that's you, please get in touch. It doesn't matter if you've had your tarot cards for 20 years and you've been dabbling, or you've never picked them up. It doesn't matter. I work one-on-one at your level. So get back to me if you're interested in lessons. So, outcome for Jared. Outcome for Jared. Oh, the Fool, straight to not only a major arcana, but the major arcana. The Fool is the beginning and end of the major arcana. So, is he a sophisticated, evolved soul who cares about the world? No. So that would put him at the other end of the foolish spectrum, which is he's walking off a cliff, not looking where he's going. See, this is it. They do live in Disneyland. This is part of the problem. This is why they kept doing this stuff so blatantly. And you'd have to say the same about Giuliani, because they only mix with each other. And this criminal, I'm not calling it an underclass, I'm calling it an overclass. They're born to privilege. They are zillionaires in their own right because they've all been born with silver spoons in their mouths, but it's never enough. And off they go, which only goes to show viewers, there's no cure for stupid. All right. So, what's his beloved doing? Well, we know she is using her Chinese patents secured by her friendship with Wendy Deng, as if Wendy Deng didn't have the reins on that. Voting machines. I mean, I hope some investigative journalist just follows that story through. Ivanka. Ivanka. Speak to me about Ivanka. I'll try not to put my big fat hand there. Yes, with her husband. Oh, she's just such a mercenary troll, really, isn't she? So, she's got her fingers in a lot of pies. She's got a lot of pacts going on. Now, with the Lover's card, which is a major arcana, the path of smooth love doesn't run smooth, as they say. There's a mountain in the middle. It was a mountain of money, and now it's a mountain of litigation. So she's still actively pursuing deals in her own right, as well as with Jared. But what his mini reading then and hers now is telling me, this is their new plan. They've got a new strategy to save their own selves, or so they think, right? I think it's newish, right? Now, the King of Wands, it's not her father, because the King of Wands is far too measured. I think they are taking legal advice, and I think the lawyer is reassuring them, it's okay, you'll be able to get away with this, right? I think this is a very reassuring person in their lives. It could be a rabbi even, but I think it's more likely to be a more legal figure who's someone is reassuring them. Doesn't matter what happens to your father, Ivanka, it'll be all right. The Apprentice. Now, a few people have been heartened to notice that Trump's talking about a new TV series, which sort of makes you think, oh, maybe he's going to go. She was the apprentice to his jaundiced criminal endeavours. And so as she matures, she's thinking more and more like him. And unfortunately for them, you'd have to think the numbers are up. She's still a conduit. There's a connection here between the King of Wands and this figure in the Wands. So I think she, Ivanka, is talking very closely to this person, and she's taking back her version of what this reassuring person is saying to Jared. She is steering this new path for them. What is it all about? The money. The money. You know, it's gobsmacking. So the update on Ivanka, just a moment, I'm drawn to pull a couple of Russian cards for Ivanka, because my feeling on that is it's painting a picture, but I want to know the nitty-gritty. I want to know about the King of Wands, and I want to know about the Six of Wands. Let me pull them down. Where's the King of Wands? The King of Wands, what's that about? King of Wands. Four of Cups. Yeah, this person who is reassuring them is actually not doing the right thing by them, actually. This is the Four of Cups, the offer you don't want. Again, it's like, I wonder if this isn't Alan Weisselberg, the long-term Trump accountant. Why isn't he in jail? What information did he give up? It is Weisselberg, and he's playing a double game. Now, he was questioned behind closed doors, and I think he is playing a double game. He had to cover his ass for 45 years of doing the double books for Trump, so he had to have given up a lot of stuff. If that man is not in jail, he has given up someone further up the totem pole, and I think he's given up not only Trump, but Ivanka and Jared. Oh, Lordy. I think that answers the question, at least from my perspective. It wasn't quite the whole picture. I felt that. Keep your eye out, viewers. Alan Weisselberg. Okay, now, what else do we need to cover? Bloomberg's going well for now, but I think he's not going to get to first base. Yes, I know, don't tell me. Psychic Violetta says he has good cards. I got good cards for him. I think he's going to go well for a while, but I don't think that top-ranking Dems are going to be happy to go forward. All right, now, the GOP and impeachment. Let's just have a quick look. Are they shifting? They're looking more and more stupid, aren't they? But when you watch the behind the scenes, you're never going to convince that base. They are cultists. You're never going to convince them. But surely you can convince the independents who at least really try and look at something real. Let's just do a mini update on the GOP. For the GOP. Oh, the devil, temperance. Oh, I couldn't be happier, viewers. Yes, they're in league with the devil. They get this card every time. They have chained themselves to the Yeti. Absolutely. There's voices of reason within the party, but they are they're not winning. Basically, the even-handed ones are going. Have you ever seen such a slew of early retirements as we're seeing from Republicans? Goodness. The King of Cups, this is not Trump, he doesn't have an emotion. Who is their spiritual leader? I'm thinking this might seem a bit of a leap, viewers, but I think the more moderate Republicans, I think this is John McCain in spirit. I think the more moderate Republicans are actually invoking John McCain, and that doesn't wash with the new hotheads, and it doesn't wash with the new beleaguered, sinister Lindsey Graham. And they're held hostage to their relationship, their addiction to him. They've tied themselves, chained themselves completely to him. This is the GOP outcome. If they continue to do this, right, so this is fluid like all other situations. You know, something might happen. They might have a watershed moment. You know, they're such ardent Christians, they might have their road to Damascus moment. Not seeing it yet, but they might. And if I hear Susan Collins' name again, I'm going to throw up on the floor. Ah, dreadful woman over the Kavanaugh stuff. I will never forgive her. I'm sure she's not going to lose any sleep at night over what I think. But there's something wrong with Susan Collins. And so I'm not talking her, because she actually, as far as I'm concerned, she doesn't count. I'm just talking about some of them in the middle, surely. They keep seeing these states go, it looks like Louisiana. I'll just say that again. It looks like Louisiana might be going to the Dems. They're not listening to their own base. When I say base, I mean traditional base. We talk about the base with a capital B when we talk about Trump's cultish followers. But ironically, I think they're not actually serving their own base. Let's see what transpires. So please get back to me. You know, I live for your comments. Love it, love it, love it. If you want a reading, get in touch. All right. I'll see you soon, soon, soon. Big love. Bye.